What is up, everybody? How are y'all doing on this wonderful Friday evening? I am here with my friend GCD.
I had chicken on Thanksgiving instead of turkey.
I've heard someone describe it as baby turkey, and that actually kind of makes sense.
Chicken as baby turkey?
I've heard it described as that. I know they're totally different animals, but that just made me laugh.
I don't know how to respond to that other than the fact that it's weird that somebody's implying that the chickens taste like babies.
No, like, yeah, just, well, I don't know. I don't know.
I've got nothing for this round.
Yeah, same here, dude. We had turkey. My dad smoked it though. It was very good.
I bet smoking does help. Smoking would probably be the best way to make turkey, if I had to guess.
It is probably the best. That was probably the best turkey I've ever had.
Turkey often doesn't have much flavor, so, and I can't say I've ever had smoked turkey before, so that would be worth trying.
I mean, turkey has a very good flavor to it. Just the problem with it is it dries out very quickly if you're not careful.
Okay.
Because the internal temperature that is needed causes it to, like, you know how like you have to make sure it gets to a proper temperature so you don't die from it. The problem is certain portions of the turkey get dried out because of that. So smoking it helps retain a lot of that moisture.
Also, Wooly Luigi said in chat, since the series is coming to a close, I wanted to make special art. It's in the server. It looks like it's a video.
It is a video. Okay, let's see here. All right. Let's do the. What's the best way to do this? You know, let me download it. There we go. Okay, let's see what we got here. Oh. 13 Line says, I hope you're ready for more Larry. Larry's gonna be everywhere, isn't he? All right, let's see what we got here. There's a very loud car driving by. Does not surprise me. It's objection funk. That's awesome. Here, I'll send it over to you as well.
I saw it in the server, yeah.
That is amazing, dude.
I feel like I've seen the original meme somewhere before, but I don't know.
Yeah,
anyway,
I think it's
good work, Wooly.
I believe it's called Operation Funk. I think that's the official name of it.
Sure, it's not Objection Funk. I feel like that would be more likely.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I thought that I'm thinking one thing and just another thing's coming out. It's gonna be fun, isn't it?
Oh, I bet.
It's gonna be one of these type of days. Yeah, very good work, Wooly. Very good work. Also, hello, Jordan. Hello, Ghostly. He won't be here for tonight. Well, all right. Have a good one. Hey, Wolfo. And then also Wooly's over on Twitch. So there we go. And thank you, Wooly, for the 6 months. Let's go ahead and get started. We got our first
trial.
Yeah, first day of the trial. I don't know. It feels like after I pressed the go live button, my brain just died.
Gotta love that.
Yep.
Good morning, Mr. Wright. Good morning, Ellen. I see you're still wearing your wedding gown. And I will continue to wear it until our marriage is saved.
I have nothing else. You have nothing else to wear, do you?
I was arrested yesterday. This is all. This is all. Oh, Soren, what? Hey, what's up?
Do you think you came to see how she's holding up?
What is it this time? It's the frying pan. Soren, my love! You came all the way to the courthouse just to see me?
Oh my god, I hope he's not just gonna be like, I'm hungry.
Oh, Soren, I don't know what to say.
Blueprints.
Huh?
The engine blueprints. I can't find them. Do you know where they are?
Oh, they're in your room. They're just from the bottom. On the right-hand side. What?
Ah, I see. He just leaves. What?
He's leaving already? Huh?
That is so weird.
Don't tell me he came just to ask about some stupid blueprints. Is he really that cold of a person? Or is that just how he comes off? I wonder.
You got a one-track mind. Hey, Balb, and hello, Darkhead. How y'all doing?
What about me, Soren?
Oh, he's back? Ellen.
He's back.
Come home soon. I'm lost without you.
Aww.
We were too harsh on him to start.
Soren!
Later.
Looks like showing your vulnerabilities is the fastest way to capturing a woman's heart.
That is a lie. That is a lie. Don't believe that.
You should take notes on this, Nick.
Don't take those notes, Nick. That's wrong. Don't do that. Please leave me out of this. Anyway, it looks like Soren isn't big on words. But it's clear that he cares about Ellen. Knowing that, I actually feel kind of relieved.
And it's like, pull yourself together, Ellen.
Mr. Wright. I just absolutely can't be found guilty, you hear?
Don't worry. I'm going to do everything I can to prove your innocence.
She has enough emotion for both of them, and he's just kind of stoic, and it's really tough for him to share emotions. They're perfect. They complement each other.
Thank you, Mr. Wright.
The trial's about to start, sir! Edgeworth. Right, we're going up against Edgeworth.
Yep.
We're in trouble. Knowing him, he's not going to yield an inch. So I've just got to fight with everything I've got and save Ellen. Yeah, this is the same guy that even after he changed for the better, he still said to one witness, if you die, I don't care, so long as the truth gets revealed.
I mean,
Who remembers that?
I do
Who
remember
remembers that?
I think that was back when he was like kind of just figuring out, because I think the truth still is very important to him. It's just kind of like, I love the spirit.
No, I think he had figured it all out. I think he was there, and he's like, the thing that matters most is the truth. What do you mean they're gonna jump off a building? What do I care? Did they have the notes? Did they tell the truth in court?
Then who cares? Why am I involved? Second game, final case. Oh, that was with that movie star guy.
Which one? Oh, right.
What was his name?
Matt on guard.
On guard, that's it. To be completely fair, weren't we all saying that about Matt and guard at the end?
What were we saying?
I mean, like with the whole Edgeworth's like, I don't care if you die. We need the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he backstabbed a hitman. So, yeah.
I don't think he did, actually. The hitman backstabbed him and gave a false testimony. Like, he told Edgeworth one thing and said another thing in court.
Yeah, because he was defending his client. But because of the fact that On Guard was gearing up to blackmail him, Shelly the Killer was like, "Oh, fuck you, dude. I'm gonna help the lawyers."
Right, yeah, that happened.
Thank you so much, Wolfo. Edgeworth, if I'm guilty, then I'll die. Okay. And Razor Crossing is asking if it's GameCube Dude. Well, is it GameCube Dude?
I don't know, is it?
I know. I feel as if you were a Atari Jaguar man at one point.
Atari Jaguar man.
That was an awkward time for you, wasn't it?
That thing was such a... To be fair, the Jaguar's, like, not terrible. There's no good reason to own one. None.
Oh, yeah, I forgot you had one.
Mm-hmm. As someone who owned an Atari Jaguar and CD unit, there's no good reason to own an Atari Jaguar or the CD unit.
Do you still have one?
No, I do not.
Oh.
Court is now in session for the trial of Ellen Watt.
I'm getting more
Wyatt.
into collectibles these days, actually. You want my dad just gave me that he found at a thrift store?
What's that?
He found a 1995 set of Toy Story trading cards.
They made trading cards?
This was the 90s. They made trading cards for everything because of Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon.
Huh.
But yeah, it's almost a complete set. We were just missing like 3 or 4 cards, and some of these cards are really cool because they got like puzzle pieces in them.
You don't say.
Like you could literally like punch out the little pieces and make a little puzzle out of it. It's crazy.
Oh, interesting. I almost forgot we put him in that suit.
Yeah.
Hello, Zeke and GCD. Hope you guys are doing well. Just checking in to see how y'all are doing. Doing well enough, I'd suppose.
Well, hello, Travis.
The defense is ready, Your Honor.
Darkhead said he used to watch in like 2012. Oh, wow, that was a while ago.
12 years.
Such a long time, dude. The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor.
Seeing so many familiar faces gathered together like this, I feel as though I'm at a grand reunion. It makes me want to go out for dinner and a drink and reminisce with you all.
You know what, the judge...
That would be a great way to end this trial.
I know, right? The judge gives me the kind of sentimental vibe, you know?
Yeah, he's gonna get down from the bench, walk up to them, and Phoenix like, "Whoa, hold up! You were that short this whole time?"
Yeah, this is a very big seat.
In like, according to the anime, from what I remember, he's not much taller than Maya.
It's kind of a shame that we've never interacted with the judge outside of a courtroom.
I guess it's a big world after all.
Because I feel as if his goofy ass would be so much fun in an investigation portion.
At the same time, if the judge was involved in an investigation, I could see the public not being too keen on that.
No, I mean, like, he just happened, like, they're investigating a mall, and he's like, oh, look, it's Phoenix.
Maybe.
Ooh, that sounds like a great idea! Hey, Judge, you want to know my favorite burger place?
Oh, wow, I predicted it.
I was dying for a real burger the whole time. I was dying for a real burger the whole time I was away.
It's amazing that we know these characters so well that we predict the dialogue that's coming next.
And I love how we create our own like headcanon, like we just kind of go deeper into like some of the things, like some of the jokes, like the hot dog water ramen for Gumshoe.
Don't mention hot dog water. That meme actually grosses me out. We can make it a welcome back party for you, Maya. How about it, Edgeworth?
I have no intention of cavorting with my enemies. Now then, Your Honor, let us start with this trial at once.
Tell me you're on a diet without telling me you're on a diet. It's okay, Edgeworth.
Ho ho ho! Still not one for lighthearted banter, are you, Mr. Edgeworth?
Ah, yes, the fun police. That's it. That's Edgeworth.
Jokes and good humor are beyond worthless in a court of law.
Guess we'll just have the party without him then.
Poor Phoenix. He won't have have his buddy there with him at the party.
And then Larry's just like, it's okay, Nick, at least I'm there. I think I just threw up in my mouth a little bit, Maya.
However, after the conclusion of the trial, I might consider joining you for your little welcome back party. Hey, there you go, Edgeworth.
I guess we were a little hard on him, a little too quick.
I certainly wouldn't mind an invite at the very least.
He's still as emotionally
Constipated.
He's still as emotionally constipated as ever, I see.
Now then, Mr. Edgeworth, if you could please go over the details of this case for us.
The victim was Dumas Gloomsbury, a servant in the Sprocket household. He was in attendance at the wedding reception that occurred around 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Mr. Gloomsbury apparently felt some animosity towards Ellen Watt, and so, a bit after the reception ended at 10 p.m., he assaulted Mrs. Watt with the intention to kill her. The defendant fought back and ended up killing Mr. Gloomsbury.
In other words, it was justified self-defense, correct? If that's the case, then the defendant might not be criminally responsible.
Oh my gosh, Retro Dude says, Edgeworth, there is a Steel Samurai theming to the party. He'll instantly be there.
Well, if you insist, right. He's right. Worst case scenario, I could go for self-defense to avoid the criminal charge. I wonder how Edgeworth plans to counter that, though.
The prosecution's first witness will make my view on the matter clear, Your Honor.
Very well. Bailiff, please bring in the first witness.
Shoes. Oh, it's Emma.
Emma! Please state your name and occupation, witness.
Emma Sky, forensic investigator.
And I'd just like to say, sir, that being in the same courtroom as you was a great honor.
Oh yeah, this is...
Emma's never met with Edgeworth before, has she?
No, I think the closest she's ever gotten
wait.
she was being prosecuted by him.
Yeah, it's been about 8 years since they've met.
Yeah. He does have the cardboard. 13 Lions is right. He does have the cardboard badge. Oh, that's perfect.
That's rich. That's great.
Oh, the attention of detail, dude.
You're a fan of Edgeworth's, aren't you, Emma? We're good friends and all, Mr. Wright.
And also to answer your question, Wooly, this is a outfit that's it's in relation to another character that pretended to be Phoenix.
You'd get it if you played the third game. But just this once, I intend to faithfully and fully testify for the prosecution. And I do mean that wholeheartedly.
I expect no less from you.
Yes, sir. I'm going to do my very best. Looks like you lost the popularity contest to Mr. Edgeworth, Nick.
Meh, I really could care less. Besides, she'll see who's the better lawyer once I win this trial.
Yeah, maybe then you'll actually really care less.
And thank
Now,
you,
Detective
Darkhead.
Sky. Now, Detective Sky, if you please.
If a fictional character could be a spirit animal, I'd say Emma. Yeah, fair. She's a fun character.
The murder weapon was a clock called Timekeeper. It all comes back to those damn clocks.
This game started with a clock as a murder weapon. It ends with a clock as a murder weapon. Beautiful.
Way to come full circle, Ace Attorney.
The victim was hit on the head, hit with it from behind, and he fell over, right into the lantern. The defendant was spotted then, standing in front of the body holding the murder weapon. The victim was struck twice, by the way.
Struck twice.
He was struck twice?
That's right. There's no mistake about it. The first blow was to the back of the victim's head. It was hard enough to knock him unconscious. Yet despite the fact that he had been immobilized by the first blow, the defendant delivered a second fatal blow to the side of the victim's head.
There goes the self-defense claim right there.
Oh. It was nice knowing you. Which means what, exactly?
Self-defense is off the table. Humph. I figured it would go right over your head. Let's put it in this way. By striking the victim a second time, the defendant killed her last chance to escape from any criminal wrongdoing.
She did. But how, Mr. Edgeworth?
The defendant may have been fighting back because she was attacked. However, she then went on to deliver a fatal blow to a man who was already fully unconscious.
Nick, is he saying what I think he is?
I don't feel so well.
And thus, Mr. Wright, has justified self-defense been removed from the table. The prosecution intends to prove that the defendant killed the victim with murderous intent. Allow me to blatantly submit the victim's autopsy report. Blatantly.
Ah! So that's why he was acting all smug. Well, more smug than usual.
Have you seen the trailer for the upcoming Sonic 3 movie? I have not. I've only seen the first trailer. Typically, when it comes to movies and games, I don't really watch trailers.
Fair enough. I'm probably not going to see the movie anyway, so whatever. It's whatever for me.
It's fine, right? It's not like we're going to plead self-defense right away, right?
Right, but now the judge has a negative impression of Ellen.
The judge is like, you've been very, very naughty, bride to be. Humph.
He may not get to prosecute much anymore, but he definitely hasn't lost his touch.
I love to imagine he's just putting on a show that, like, oh yeah, I will personally take this because they were trying to skirt the law. I wanted to set the record straight. I think the real reason he's like, yo, Phoenix is going to be defending this one. I gotta be here.
I got to make sure my skills are still sharp.
Now then, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination.
Oh, let's take a look at the autopsy. Time of death, 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. Cause of death, cerebral hemorrhaging from a strong blow to the head. One contusion was found in the back of the head, and one on the side. The blows were caused by the same weapon.
Hold it!
Are you completely sure the murder weapon was the timekeeper?
Yes, completely. The shape of the injury on the victim's head matches with that of the timekeeper. And it's definitely heavy enough to kill someone with.
But would the defendant have been able to pick up and swing something so heavy?
I tried myself. I was able to lift it up just fine.
To be fair, frying pans, at least cast iron ones, they can be pretty heavy.
They are pretty heavy. They're heavy things.
Maybe you're just freakishly strong.
Excuse me, Mr. Wright?
Mema's pissed.
I'll have you know that people on the force know me as the dainty forensic investigator.
I'm not sure that's a good thing when you're working in law enforcement.
Sorry, but really, you're hardly a delicate flower.
Mr. Wright, this is a court of law. Save your antics for after the trial, if you know how.
Yes, sir. It won't happen again, sir.
Moving on.
Hey, Nugget, how you doing? If Apollo said that, Emma would have snackooed him. That's true.
The defendant was fighting back against the victim, right? If so, wouldn't she have hit him from the front and not from behind?
The victim must have tried to run once Miss Wyatt started fighting back. That's probably when he got hit from behind.
I see. Thus the blow to the back of his head.
The defendant must have looked awfully scary when she was brandishing that clock.
I don't know about that. Regardless of how scary Ellen looked, the victim was definitely hit from behind.
May I go on?
Yes, of course. Please do.
Hold it!
But that's only because she was so panicked when she found the body that she tried to use the timekeeper to go back in time.
Objection!
That's a new objection from Edgeworth.
I don't like it. I like his original objection.
I know, right? Mr. Wright, do you have any idea how absurd you sound?
Do you have any idea how absurd your objection sounds? But Miss White really believed that she could travel through time with that clock.
You
Are you
really...
trying to plead insanity?
I would love to see you try to argue that one, Mr. Wright. You really should have come up with a more credible story, you know.
Yes, I agree.
Me 3, but it's all I've got to go on.
Anyway, under the circumstances, the only conclusion we can draw is that the defendant killed the victim.
Hold it!
Once in the back, once in the side.
Miss Wyatt must have had a chance to escape after she struck the victim the first time. So why would she stick around and hit him with such a heavy object again? Well, about that.
Allow me to explain. Why did she strike him again indeed? To finish off the victim, of course. This very act clearly shows that she had every intention of killing Mr. Gloomsbury.
But Miss Wyatt would never do a thing like that.
Then let's see some evidence that disproves my theory.
Ugh. Are you going to just stand there and take that from him, Nick?
Can't refute his claim head on, so we'll have to approach it from a different angle. Well, it looks like we won't be going anywhere until we can refute Edgeworth's claim.
This is so exciting. We haven't taken on Mr. Edgeworth in ages.
Yeah.
Okay, Nick. Now, go get him.
No need to rush me, Maya. All right. Better start by comparing Enema's testimony with the evidence we have.
All right, let's take a look. She did say something along the lines of there was a shadow person, right?
Did she?
Oh, here we go. When Ellen was attacked by Gloomsbury out on the Vista deck. Oh. It was on the deck.
Okay.
She saw in her dazed state a shadowy figure hit Gloomsbury from behind. She fainted immediately afterwards and thus didn't get a good look at whoever it was. So it was the deck, not the in the hall like they were saying.
Okay. And look for any glaring inconsistencies.
Right into the lantern. There we go. Because, as we know, the lantern is inside, not in the Vista deck.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And her detail says she's in the Vista deck. So I'm going to go ahead and do this.
I think we were supposed to present the map.
Oh, okay.
Your Honor, I have a feeling that this piece of evidence contradicts the witness's statement.
A feeling, defense?
Yes, Your Honor. Or rather, a hope that it indicates a contradiction.
Mr. Wright, is there or isn't there a contradiction here?
It looks like there is, but there really isn't one, is there?
Are you asking me, Mr. Wright? Because what it really seems like to me is you're just asking for a penalty.
Thanks for the definite answer, Your Honor.
With a lawyer like you, Mr. Wright, even I feel bad for the defendant.
Well, you don't have to feel bad for her for long. I'll get it right next time. You'll see.
Yeah, we'll get it right this time.
Objection!
We were wrong again. Is this new?
It might be, actually.
Oh,
You want to read it?
sure. Your Honor, the witness's statement contains a glaring contradiction, and this piece of evidence, and this is the piece of evidence that says it all.
Will it start saying something anytime soon, Mr. Wright?
Oh, maybe the crime scene photo.
That might work. It's not speaking up at all, is it? Maybe it's being shy.
Your evidence has said nothing at all, or nothing at all to this court. But your choice of tactics speaks volumes about you, defense.
Even I knew that wasn't a very smart move, Nick.
Yeah, Retro World, I'm gonna be taking a break from streaming for a bit. Just wanted to finish up this game first, though. So I'm taking a break from everything until we finish this game up. The evidence is on vacation. Okay, let's try.
Maybe we should consult.
Okay.
So what do you think we should do now, Maya?
That one statement sounds awfully fishy to me, Nick.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
So now it's just a matter of deciding which piece of evidence to present, right?
Yeah. I'll take another look at the evidence and compare it to that statement then. Right into the lantern. Okay.
Oh, I think I know what's going on then. Where's
Yeah.
that crime scene photo? Looks like he fell backwards.
Okay. That makes sense. Detective Sky, I'm afraid I have to apologize in advance. For what? For embarrassing you in front of your idol.
Oh.
What do you mean? If you take a look at this photo of the crime scene, you'll see that the victim is lying on his back. But if the victim had been hit from behind, as you claim, then he should have fallen over into the lantern face down. It's not enough to simply take someone's side, Detective Sky, even if it's Mr. Edgeworth's. Oh.
There does appear to be a flaw in Detective Sky's testimony.
Mr. Wright, if you think I'm going to just back right down, then you're sadly mistaken.
I am not Gumshoe, mind you.
Emma is unusually fired up today.
I think someone has a crush.
She crushes on all. She also has a crush on Shadmati too. So
No, she doesn't. She hates him.
I don't know. I feel as if there's something there.
I don't know if it's anything beyond workplace respect.
Yeah, fair enough.
Don't forget, she's in front of her hero, Nick. If the Steel Samurai came to watch this trial, I'd want to do my absolute best too.
Listen, Mr. Wright. It's entirely possible that the defendant moved the victim's body after he fell over. If that's the case, there wouldn't be any contradiction, right?
Indeed. That was an excellent counter-argument, Detective.
You can count on me, sir.
So, what do you have to say to that, Mr. Wright?
That's the look. Her look on her face is basically, I'm not getting a salary cut.
Is it possible the victim's body was moved after he fell into the lantern?
Let's just double check the facts here.
Let's take another look at that scene.
Victim's body was found collapsed inside one of the lanterns. Scattered around his body were flower petals, a note, and broken parts of the lantern. Petals are from from flowers not found inside the reception hall. I think that right there is like, that right there kind of proves it wasn't in here.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking. It is not possible.
Sorry, Detective, but there's no way the victim's body was moved after his death.
Oh, really? And what makes you so sure?
One look here and it should become obvious.
Take that!
What exactly are you pointing at, Mr. Wright?
Oh, this right here?
What you're trying to communicate is not obvious at all, Mr. Wright. But this penalty should make my feelings on the matter pretty obvious, even to you.
The only thing that's obvious right now is the pain in my attorney's badge.
You mean the
When
piece
did
of
it turn to
cardboard?
cardboard?
We're just playing as the is his name Tigray?
Tigray. Yeah, something like that. Furio Tigray, I think. Maybe it is possible that his body was moved.
No, if it
'Cause
was,
if he
it would have given us a chance to go back. If that was the case. Try
Okay,
the
well, then I
broken
got
pieces
nothing.
on his body. Oh
Maybe.
yeah.
Take that!
Hey, Glove. No clue what's going on. This is the first day of the court case itself.
Those broken bits of the lantern?
Yes. If the body had been moved after the fact, these fragments wouldn't have fallen off. But as you can clearly see, they're lying perfectly undisturbed on top of the body. This means that the victim must have been lying face up from before the lantern even broke.
You're right!
But wait a minute. If that's true, then when was the victim killed? I mean, the lantern was still whole during the reception, right?
Right. Which means we've just overturned a major assumption about this case. If the victim was already dead before the lantern was even broken, then the body must have been inside the lantern since before the reception started. In other words, the defense asserts that the victim was killed before the wedding reception.
Oh.
What?
In short, when Miss Wyatt was seen standing in front of the body after the reception, it wasn't the moment just after the murder was committed. It was the moment she happened to discover the body, just as Mr. Wyatt claims. Did I say Mr.? It's Miss.
Humph. Whenever the act was committed before or after the reception is entirely inconsequential. After all, it was the defendant who prepared the reception hall for the event in question. Therefore, when the murder occurred changes nothing with regards to her guilt. She could have killed the victim before the reception, as you claimed, and then tried to hide his body in the lantern after the event ended.
Objection!
Sorry, but that doesn't make any sense. I mean, where would the body have been hidden during the reception in your scenario?
That's...
Even you have to admit, Mr. Edgeworth, that this has opened up a new possibility.
Do explain, Mr. Wright.
Well, if Miss Wyatt didn't commit the crime in the reception hall, then that means someone, somewhere, put the victim's body into the lantern.
I suppose that makes sense. A dead body couldn't have put itself in there.
Exactly, Your Honor. In other words, if the murder actually occurred before the reception, it opens up the possibility that the defendant didn't do it.
He was killed somewhere else.
Somewhere else.
I think that opens up and killed someone else too.
If the body was hidden inside the lantern, then it's possible the body was moved Then it's possible that the body was moved along with it from somewhere else.
Ooh, you're right!
You can run that mouth of yours all you want. But do you have any evidence to support what's coming out of it, Mr. Wright?
Of course I do. I think the answer lies in that piece of evidence. And in something.
Is it this right here? Yes, there's the two pegables.
Okay. That'll work. That was left at the crime scene that will point us to where the victim was really killed.
Oh, and the flowers too.
Very well, Mr. Wright. In that case,
Because the flowers are right here. There we go.
Right.
what proves that the lantern and the body were moved from somewhere else?
Take that!
This proves that the murder took place somewhere other than the reception hall.
I'm afraid I can't say that I follow.
I guess I'm not following the game's logic right now.
That piece of evidence won't help you make your point, Nick!
Yet another pointless piece of evidence from a senseless attorney.
Fine, so this piece of evidence wasn't convincing enough. And there must be something else that would be easier for the judge to understand. What proves that the lantern and the body were moved from somewhere else? Do they want us to show the broken lantern itself?
Let's see.
When did this come out? I think the original release of the game was 2016. I believe it was released for the 3DS.
Yes, and then the remake collection came out earlier this year.
The photo of the victim again? Yes.
It's the petals.
I'd like the court to focus on this thing right here.
Take that!
Flower petals, Mr. Wright? These petals are from a kind of flower that were not present in the reception hall. That means they must have gotten into the lantern when someone was when it was somewhere else.
And just where do you propose this somewhere else to be, Mr. Wright?
I propose that this piece of evidence will tell us where the flower petals came from.
Take that!
We did it in the wrong order.
Please take a look at the flowers in this picture of the hold. Notice how their petals are of the same shape as the petals in the crime scene photo.
Yes, I see. They do look to be from the same kind of flower.
Objection!
Humph. Is that really all you've got? A flower is a flower is a flower. They're all the same. I would hardly call that, I would hardly call what you presented compelling evidence.
I'm afraid I couldn't disagree with you more, Mr. Edgeworth. I gave a flower of this type to my lovely wife once when we were young. So I can assure you that this is very meaningful and compelling evidence indeed. The soundness of my judgment in this matter is backed by nothing less than pure love.
But Your Honor.
Let it go, Mr. Edgeworth. It's clear you don't know much about flowers.
Or love.
Okay, that last one was uncalled for, right?
I mean, he's been doing this to me for 11 years, Judge.
It's not like you have anyone you'd actually give any to after all.
Oh, damn! Fucking roasted!
But maybe you should study up on them, just in case the opportunity presents itself.
Ugh. This from the man who only knows the name of 3 types of flowers.
That's hardly relevant to the case at hand. The defense asserts that it's highly probable that the victim was killed in the hold. If the body was then placed in the lantern and moved to the reception hall for some reason, it would completely destroy the prosecution's case.
Then you mean the body was...
Yes, the victim's body was inside the lantern during the entire beautiful wedding reception.
That's creepy.
Yeah, that's terrifying. While the defendant and her betrothed were celebrating their love.
What?
Being that close to a body, not even knowing it.
Objection!
Humph. Your smooth talk may work on his honor, but it won't work on me.
What are you talking about now?
Take another look at all the evidence, and you'll soon see what I mean.
I wish you would just tell me already.
Detective Sky, I'm sure you're already figured out what I'm talking about, correct?
Of course, sir. Mr. Wright is the only one here who hasn't. Why don't you leave this to me, Mr. Edgeworth?
Very well. Let's see what you can do.
Detective Sky, please give your testimony to this court.
The victim could not have been killed before the reception. The autopsy report states that the estimated time of death was after the reception. And the estimated time of death is correct. There's no way it could be wrong.
Star just booked a 2-week trip to Europe. Hey, congrats, dude!
I'll write you down as a no for Houston, but I guess have fun.
We don't know what time.
It's clear Mr. Gloomsbury was killed after the reception. And that completely contradicts your claim.
I guess so.
Phoenix is awfully calm about this. Tell me you took at least a cursory glance at the autopsy report, Mr. Wright. It appears you've grown rusty since our last outing. Might I suggest that you go back and brush up on the basics?
Sure. Though I must say, you're as cocky as ever, Mr. Edgeworth.
I beg your pardon.
What are you trying to say, Mr. Wright?
I'm just saying that I'll go back to basics, if that's what Mr. Edgeworth wants. I'll prove how badly he's underestimating me with a good old-fashioned cross-examination.
Very well. Let's see you put your money where your mouth is, Mr. Wright.
There was a wide range with the death. 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. 3 hours. Not too big. Not too big.
Hold it!
You sound pretty certain. You must have some solid grounds for making that claim, right?
Of course I do. And you're going to feel silly when I show you what they are. Ready? Feast your eyes on this. The autopsy report states that the estimated time of death was after the reception.
Hold it!
I've read the autopsy report too, you know.
Then you don't need me to explain it to you, right? How there's no way the victim could have been killed before the reception, I mean?
Detective Sky. I think you've overlooked something big.
I have?
Why don't you take another look at the evidence?
But I've already looked at all the evidence. And quite carefully, too, I'll have you know.
Detective Sky, do not be taken by his verbal antics. He is simply bluffing, as always.
Right, sir.
Okay, what is he going on about with this autopsy report?
Good question.
September 20th, 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. All right, let's press one last thing.
Is it possible that the culprit did something to obscure the real time of death?
No, not in this case. If there was no snow or anything to keep the body from decomposing, and there's no fridge on that airship big enough to fit a body into.
So you've already checked into that, I see?
Wait a second.
It all comes down to the estimated time of death, doesn't it? Couldn't the killer mess with the victim's time of death by keeping the body on ice?
Okay, this is about to be freaking weird. You know how we were talking about how weird it was that people were like sitting next to a body?
Oh no.
They were breathing in a body too. That is disgusting. Is that what they're going for with this?
Oh, I hope not.
But the fog machine's in the court record. Let's take a look at it.
It says it uses dry ice.
Oh no!
Large amount of dry ice can be placed in the fog machine to produce a thick fog.
Oh!
That is disgusting.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
Either
If they
that
had to,
or
then.
they used the here's another thing. It could have been they used the dry ice and put it in the lantern.
If
I
anywhere
hope-
the dry ice is, it could work, I guess.
I hope that's what they're going for with this. Because
Yeah.
those poor people otherwise.
I know.
Yeah, if they had the means to. The prosecution is treating the estimated time of death as an absolute. But is it really?
I take it you don't think it is? Or, I take it you don't think it is, huh, Nick? In that case, we're going to have to find a way to convince them otherwise.
Yeah, there's gotta be a way somehow.
Okay. A device that utilizes dry ice to emanate a large amount of thick vapor, fog-like vapor.
Should we present it on this one or the next one, the next statement?
And that
Okay, I think that's the one we want to present it at.
Okay.
Objection!
Oh.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Oh my
Oh my
gosh.
gosh. Oh, mercy. Oh, sweet heavens.
That's
Oh.
disgusting.
Oh.
Can you imagine I like to imagine everyone at the
Dude, I
reception.
don't want to imagine.
Everyone at the reception is in this courtroom and Phoenix like, ladies and gentlemen of the jury and of everyone, you breathed in a dead body.
I admit that the estimated time of death does contradict my theory.
Finally! And that means your theory that the victim was killed before the reception
Is still entirely plausible.
Huh? What makes you think that?
The killer could have falsified the time of death by using a certain item in the reception hall. Please take a look at this.
And what is that contraption, Mr. Wright?
It's a fog machine, Your Honor, used to create a special romantic atmosphere in the hall. I never thought of fog as romantic, but okay, we'll roll with it.
And this machine could have been used to falsify the time of death?
Yes, Your Honor, because this machine uses dry ice to perform its magic.
Ice, ice, baby.
Dry ice. Ah, yes. The super cold stuff commonly used to make theatrical fog, right?
Dry ice is so cool. Have you ever messed with it?
Once or twice, yeah.
I used to sell it. At the grocery store. It was really cool.
They sell dry ice at the store I go to now that I think about it. It's expensive.
It is pretty expensive.
I see. So your claim is that the dry ice was used to keep the body cold?
Oh. In that case, I guess the victim could have been killed before the reception.
Please don't tell me he was in there during the wedding though. Please, game. Just for our sanity.
Would the fog machine actually have enough space for a body?
I-
The dry ice is the component here, not the machine.
I think the fact that the machine is there proves that dry ice is in the venue. I think that's what it's going for.
I hope so.
Order! Order in this court! Well, Mr. Edgeworth, what do you have to say about this development?
That the victim was killed in the hold before the wedding reception. The prosecution acknowledges the possibility of this claim.
Now we're getting somewhere.
The prosecution would also like to thank you, Mr. Wright.
Huh? For what?
I didn't know how a certain piece of evidence fit into this case. But now, thanks to you, I do.
What piece of evidence?
To get into the hold, one needs a key card, like this one. And here, we have a record of those who entered the hold with such a key cards. The times aren't specific, but they are the last 3 entries on the day of the murder. Oh yeah, and also Ellen didn't have her card at the time, though.
She didn't? Oh.
And as you can see, the last person to enter the hold that day was the defendant.
Uh-oh.
Okay, we don't have it in our evidence, but I remember we found that we found her key card in the manor.
What?
So the one who moved the body out of the hole must have been...
That's right. It was none other than the defendant.
Hey, Nick, take a look at this entry record.
Will do. Dumas, Pierce, and then Ellen. So Pierce went in there too.
Okay.
What was Pierce doing there? What was the butler doing?
There are a couple of other names on here besides Ellen's.
Hey, you're right. According to the entry record, Mr. Edgeworth, Pierce, Nichody, how do we say his name?
Pierce Nichody?
I guess so. Pierce Nichody had also gone into the hold.
Pierce Nichody? Pisnichity.
That is not a word I'm familiar with.
I think it's like a very, very particular. It's like a way of being very particular.
Okay.
I think. I could be way off.
Isn't it possible that he could have been the culprit?
Objection!
Sorry, but Mr. Nichity was escorting a few of the guests at the time. I'm sure they would be happy to testify to that fact if you'd like. Think me cocky all you like, Mr. Wright, but my confidence is rarely misplaced.
Ugh.
Now then, it's probably safe to assume that after killing the victim in the hold... Oh, I was right. It is a reference to the word persnickety, which means fussy or precise. The defendant moved his body to the hall in order to dispose of it discreetly.
What do you mean by discreetly?
The defendant volunteered to take care of the reception's cleanup personally. That means she would have had the chance to dispose of anything in any way she wanted, including taking the lantern off the airship without raising any suspicion. Don't tell me you didn't know about Miss Watts volunteering for cleanup duty, Mr. Wright.
For my last task as a servant of the Sprocket household, I offered to take on the preparation and cleanup of the reception banquet.
I see.
Ah!
Look at you, sweating buckets like a rookie, even after all these years. Nevertheless, thank you for proving that the only person who could have killed the victim in the hold is Ellen Watts.
Ah! Great job, Phoenix. Now we're back to square one.
But in a different location, though. Perhaps you should ask Miss Sykes for some help in reviewing Defense for Dummies?
Way to go, sir! You've got Mr. Wright in a cold sweat.
Humph. I wonder if maybe the promise of seeing that miserable look on his face is what brought me back to court today. It certainly made all my stress and woes as chief prosecutor just melt away.
I guess he had a lot of stress built up.
I'll give him something to stress over before we're through today.
Your Honor, the prosecution asks that you render your verdict at this time. Before that man over there tries to throw the court into chaos with his meaningless bluffs.
I see. Mr. Wright? Are there any last meaningful bluffs you'd like to present to this court?
Why does he have to assume it'll be a bluff?
Nick, hurry up and throw a good one out there.
I will. Well, all right then. Let's see. I've got it. How do you know it was Miss Wyatt who used her key card? After all, if it turns out that somebody else used her card, it would mean that Miss Wyatt didn't do it.
Interesting. And are you able to prove this bluff to be true?
I assure you I'm not bluffing, Your Honor. Well, what now?
Wait a minute, Nick. I can think of a certain somebody who might have used Ellen's key card.
You can?
Remember? The one who was sneaking around the hold in spite of not being a family member?
Get ready, GCD.
Oh, that's right! Your Honor, the defense would like to call a certain witness to the stand. I need the testimony of this person who may have entered the hold with Miss Wyatt's card.
Take that!
That's your witness? Are you saying that numbskull was on the airship? He never breathed a word about that to me.
That's not surprising, because Mr. Nichedy told him to keep quiet about it. But Mr. Butts himself admitted it to me. He claimed to have found a way to sneak into the Flying Chapel's hold to see Miss Wyatt. This photo he took this photo we took and gave to me is proof.
Then was it he who moved the lantern with the body inside the reception hall?
You know as well as I that with him, anything is possible. And this is one possibility we should definitely look into.
I can't believe this. What in the world is he doing mixed up in this?
Come on, Mr. Edgeworth. Remember what we've been saying since elementary school?
When something smells, it's usually the butts.
Exactly.
We got his theme back. Gah, that Larry, he'll pay for this.
Well, if you want to
if you want to extract your payment now, he's right up there in the gallery.
Yikes!
Oh no. Bailiff! Seize the witness before he makes a run for it!
No! Why does this stuff always happen to me?
Sorry, Larry, but you brought this on yourself.
Let us break for a 15-minute recess. I ask that both sides prepare for the next witness's testimony during that time.
It's everyone's favorite character. That's so Larry.
Wow, it's been a while since I've had this much fun and excitement. A face-off against Mr. Edgeworth! A harrowing tightrope walk for the defense!
This was the last time Maya was in our was on our side going up against Edgeworth since Steel Samurai case.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well,
I thought that was not the case. However, 1-4 we were defending Edgeworth. 1-5
Okay.
Maya was not there. And then
Right.
2-1 the entirety of the second game, Maya was on our side, but we went up against Francisca.
Okay.
And then the third game, we went up against Godot.
Right.
And then 4 and 5, both Maya and Edgeworth were nowhere to be seen.
Holy smokes.
This was last time since Steel Samurai Turnabout.
That's nuts!
It is insane. I thought whenever I read that, it was like there's no way someone just like misremembered something. No, it makes sense.
What the heck? That's nuts.
Yeah.
Phew. I'm already exhausted.
Boss! I'm here for moral support!
Athena, are you all done practicing for Trucy's magic show?
Well, to be perfectly honest, I sort of ran away.
Yeah, I figured.
But that's because she was putting my life in danger, I tell you!
I see. I think I'll need to have a one-on-one with her. You're really athletic and fit, Athena, so Trucy probably thinks she can run you rugged.
That may be true. Which is why not even Trucy can keep up with me when I run at full speed.
Ha! Looks like you spoke too soon, Athena. Never underestimate the resourcefulness of a great magician.
Huh?
Magical girl Trucy Wright is on the scene.
No!
Now, Athena, it's time to practice human combustion magic!
She's lit me on fire 3 times, Mr. Wright! Please!
Trucy, we can't afford another workplace injury lawsuit.
Come on, douse yourself in gasoline!
Trucy, drop the flamethrower. Oh, have I told you about the Canadian that got sick and tired of snow on his driveway and shoveling
So he
it? Took a flamethrower to it.
You want to know something crazy?
What?
Flamethrowers are 100% legal to own.
That's what I've heard too. In
The
certain
law basically says these are glorified, cigarette lighters.
That's overkill for the cigarette.
Uh-huh. Well, I know a few people who own them. You know what they use them for?
Cigarettes?
Only one did that. No, but apparently, like, if you have a private pond or something,
Yeah.
it's a good way to get rid of bugs in the pond.
Okay. So there's like an actual use case for it. They just don't
Yeah,
have it
there's-
just to like fuck around with it.
Yeah, no. I mean, I might have a flamethrower to screw around with. Not anywhere near civilization. I'll take it to a nice open patch of dirt.
Every time I think about the Canadian that was arrested for having a flamethrower to his driveway, I think of you. That's so you coded.
I would so do that, and my HOA would complain, and I'll be like, "Show me where in the policy it says I can't get rid of snow with a flamethrower." I don't know if I'd win that fight, but it might be it might be a, you know, in life you gotta pick your battles. That's a battle I'll pick. Flamethrower rights. Let's go.
They might just not have anything for it, but then like okay, like and then the next day, please have reviewed the new updated HOA agreement.
GCD has all sorts of weapons. Well, it's mainly just guns. I don't have like any swords. I do have a knife though.
I have 2 katanas.
Any guns?
No guns.
Okay, well, when society collapses, I can break into your house because you're not gonna be able to go up against my guns.
Yeah, but you'll have to make it to my area though.
I know. Buddy, I used to walk to school in the 40s. And in shorts.
1940s. Okay, cool.
The 40 degrees range, buddy.
Whatever you say there, old man, you were around during the 40s.
Buddy, if I was around during the 40s, I probably would not be alive today.
Yeah, probably not.
But don't worry, it's a magic trick after all, so it's perfectly safe.
At least it should. Run away!
Hey, you! You're not getting off that easy!
Well, that was pointless.
They get along so well, don't they? That reminds me of the good old days. You, me, and Pearly. Oh, and Detective Gumshoe. Can't forget him.
He gets referenced by name.
Yay!
We had all kinds of fun at crime scenes back then, remember?
Remember when Gumshoe gave Pearls a gun?
I don't think he gave it to her. He just
No,
kinda held it in
he
front of
gave her a gun.
He did. No, he did
He
not.
he did give her a gun.
No, he did not. He held it in front of her. Leaving me to do all the serious investigating, as I recall. Court will be back in session, Mr. Wright. Right. Thank you.
So Larry's the next witness, right? I can't wait to see what happens.
I can. Sadly, I can already imagine it. Let me just use the bathroom real fast before I gotta deal with Larry.
Alrighty then. Larry in the court. We can't wait to see what happens. You're gonna love the next testimony. Oh, perfect. And if he could, GCD would use a flamethrower on Larry.
All right, I'm back.
Hey, welcome back.
If GCD could, he would use a flamethrower on Larry. No comment. Here we go.
Court will now reconvene.
Nick! Edgy! The two of you are going to hang me out to dry, aren't you?
Probably.
No, not the both of us. Just Mr. Wright. Mick, how could you?
I don't really think he did it, of course, but I've got to use what leads I can. Mr. Butts, there's a possibility you moved the lantern that had a dead body in it. So if you want to clear yourself of any suspicion, all you have to do is testify.
Now then, your testimony, please, witness.
Nick is a jerk face. Nick, you big fat stinking jerk! How can you doubt your best bud? We've known each other since elementary school. Well, get this, pal. Our friendship's over. Beautiful testimony. You got the whole squad laughing, Larry.
Mr. Butts, you got the whole squad cringing. Well, go ahead, Mr. Wright. He's all yours.
Why me?
You're the one who called him to the stands, so he's your responsibility.
Thanks, little chum.
Can't any of you show me a little respect? Even just a shred?
You may cross-examine the witness, Mr. Wright.
I would if there were any testimony to cross-examine.
Nick is a jerk face.
Hold it!
Come on, Larry. Can you please give me something real to work with?
Don't think I don't know about your tricks. If I say something careless, you're gonna shove some evidence at me with a loud objection and a super smug look on your face.
Yeah, well, that is my job.
And if I'm found guilty, how you gonna take responsibility for what you've done?
Why should I take responsibility for just doing my job?
You heartless jerk! Don't you have any compassion for me?
No.
Hold it!
I'm sorry, Mr. Butts, but if it wasn't Miss Wyatt that entered the hold with the card, then you're the most likely suspect.
Nick, are you seriously doubting the innocence of your old childhood friend?
Well, technically, yes. But it isn't personal, I assure you.
Oh, a true friend would believe in me no matter what. Can't you see my tears? Don't they mean anything to you? Nick!
Those are tears? I thought you sprung a leak.
You don't really think you can cry your way out of this, do you?
Okay, fine. In that case...
Hold it!
Larry, listen to me.
Shut shut up! I'm not talking to you anymore!
This is getting us nowhere. Come off it, Larry. If you don't quit fooling around and start testifying, Miss Wyatt will be found guilty.
For real?
If no new information comes out of this cross-examination, then yes, Mr. Butts, for real.
Not that I would have a problem with that myself.
Larry, just tell us the truth already. Did you or did you not go into the hold and move the lantern up to the reception hall?
I never moved any bull lantern, I tell ya!
Bowl lantern?
What? Did I say something weird?
You told me that you didn't attend the wedding reception.
Can you believe they told me only family and relatives could attend? They wouldn't even let me into the reception hall. Yeah? So what?
Then that's odd. No one in this courtroom would ever mention the sex of the lantern that was moved. So how could you know that it was a bowl lantern?
You didn't have to actually go to the reception to know that. Anyone could have tell that the flying two pegables by looking at the Flying Chapel's pamphlet.
All I can tell right now is that there's a strong scent of bull in the air here. At least it's not dead body. Please add that last statement to your testimony, Mr. Butts.
Anyone could tell that there was two pegables by looking at the Flying Chapel's pamphlet. Let me just double check here. Yep, peg a cow, peg a bull.
Objection!
I want you to take a look at this, Mr. Butts. Because unfortunately for you, the pamphlet clearly shows a pegacow and a pegabull in their example diagram of the reception hall.
Huh?
But on that day, instead of putting a pegacow and a pegabull out for the bride and groom, there were two male pegabulls on display. Yet, somehow, you knew that there were two pegabulls in the reception hall that day. There's only one way you'd know something like that, Larry. It was you who moved the pegabull to the reception hall, wasn't it?
Ah! No! Larry, you didn't.
Mr. Butts, did you move the lantern containing the victim's body to the reception hall?
That's what it looks like.
What?
So that's why there's two bowls.
Because Larry's so stupid.
Yes.
Ah!
Wait, Nick! You don't think I'm the murderer, do you?
Maybe you and Mr. Gloomsbury were fighting over Miss Wyatt and you ended up killing him?
Maya! Not you too! Look, I did sneak into the reception, but that's as far as it went. You know me. I would hurt a fly.
You snuck into the reception hall? Or you snuck into the reception?
Yeah, sure, but some of the Sprocket men caught and locked me up in one of the cabins. It was pretty awful, actually. But that's when I made that drawing of the pterodactyl I showed you, Nick.
Ixnay on the Aerodactyl pay, Larry.
Mr. Wright, not even you would make this farce, take this farce that far. Would you?
We are talking about Larry. What do I do? Do I accuse Larry of being the true culprit?
I know your thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it.
I guess I have no choice but to accuse him.
Wait a minute. But Larry didn't have any reason to kill Gloomsbury. No, you're right, Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Butts didn't have a reason to kill Mr. Gloomsbury. He might have had an imaginary reason to kill Soren Sprocket, sure, but not Mr. Gloomsbury.
After all, he did steal Mr. Sprocket's bride and try to elope with her.
Just because I try to steal someone's bride doesn't make me a murderer.
I believe you, Larry. And I don't think you killed anybody either. You would never do anything like that.
Nick, oh buddy, oh pal! I knew you'd come through for me!
Funny that considering your sworn testimony just now that we went through.
Mr. Butts, it's time you told this court the whole truth. Understood?
Moving the lantern. It's just like Nick said. I'm the one who moved the lantern. I love that we had a diagram for that. I was poking around the reception hall before the main event and saw a lantern was broken. There was a note on it that said, exchange with the one on the hold, Ellen. So I decided to do Ellie a favor.
So you switched the lanterns before the reception, did you? Then that means the victim really was killed before the reception.
It would appear that Mr. Butts completely fell to for the defendant's scheme. Scheme? What scheme? This note was from the defendant. Exchange with the one in the hold, Ellen. Mr. Butts moved the lantern with the body in it up to the reception hall because of this note. And thus, he became a suspect in Mr. Gloomsbury's murder. That second lantern did feel pretty heavy, but I never would have thought there was a dead body in it.
What's a note like that doing on the lantern in the first place?
You've got it all wrong, Mr. Edgeworth. I left that note for myself. It was simply a reminder because I can be very forgetful.
Objection!
What a sorry excuse, Mrs. Wyatt. The prosecution contends that this note shows one facet of the defendant's murderous plan. And you, Mr. Butts, you played right into Miss White's hands. No way, Edgy! I don't believe it!
Objection!
Do you still really believe Miss Wyatt to be the culprit, Mr. Edgeworth?
Of course, my stance on the matter remains unchanged. If you think I'm wrong, then prove it with your cross-examination.
Gladly.
Very well. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness.
Hold it!
Why didn't you tell us that sooner?
Because I knew you guys were going to be suspicious of me. That's why.
We're suspicious of you now because you tried to hide it.
My thoughts exactly. Humph. Well, now I've told you. Happy? So how about letting me go?
No, not yet. We need you to stick around to sort out a few things.
Grr, fine.
Hold it!
The lantern you swapped out was a female Pegamoo. A Pega cow, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Why did you replace a female lantern with a male one?
Because I was too busy trying not to get caught. I didn't have time to check for the little details like that.
If you didn't want to get caught, you could have just left well enough alone, you know?
Whatever. Anyway, when I took a look at the broken lantern, I saw... Exchange with the one in the hold.
Hold it!
That note wasn't addressed to you, was it?
Well, I guess not, but... How could I let my dear, sweet Ellie do all the hard physical labor on her own?
It's precisely through that process that constantly gets you in trouble, Larry.
Besides, it was my big chance to show her how much I cared about her.
Hold it!
Nobody saw you the whole time while you were watching the lanterns?
Nope, I didn't get caught. Not that time, anyway.
Not that time?
Yeah, when I tried to sneak into the reception hall the first time... Oh my gosh. I didn't have as much luck. What's up?
I just said, oh my gosh.
I didn't have as much luck. Those sprocket guys spotted me and nabbed me.
All of my words are failing me right now.
Pretty exciting, don't you think?
Larry, you need help.
And then they locked me up in one of the cabins. Nick, what are you asking about stuff like that for anyway? Shouldn't you be trying to prove Ellie's innocence?
Well, is that statement of his important to this case? Sure, why not? Mr. Butts is trying to crash the reception and subsequently getting locked up in a cabin. I believe these might be important facts in this case, Your Honor.
Very well. Mr. Butts, please add that statement to your testimony.
Try to sneak in the reception hall, but I got caught and locked in the cabin.
So you got locked up. Then what happened?
I broke out. Then I started looking for Ellie and wandered into the reception hall again. That's when I saw the broken lantern and replaced it.
Even after they caught you and locked you up, you still went looking for Miss Wyatt? But hold on a minute.
What is it, Nick?
Maya, doesn't something seem weird to you? Larry's saying he replaced the lantern after he broke out of the cabin.
That's right. Oh, wait. Huh? You're right. It doesn't make much sense, does it?
Mr. Wright, have you found an inconsistency in this witness's testimony?
Yes, I believe so, Your Honor. Mr. Butts moved the lantern after he broke out of the cabin, but that contradicts with this.
Moved the lantern after he broke out of the cabin. Oh! This right here?
I don't know. Maybe. Your guess is as good as mine.
And in what sense does that piece of evidence contradict with the statement?
It doesn't contradict at all, does it? Indeed.
Oh, don't mind me, Your Honor. It looks like I just made a tiny mistake, that's all.
Okay, so we have to go back to this. Larry is saying he replaced the lantern after he broke out of the cabin. Lantern in which the victim's body was found. Larry wheeled it from the hold to the reception hall before the reception began. The broken lantern itself? I don't really see how it could be.
Is that?
Yes, it's the broken lantern, Your Honor. Mr. Butts, what you're saying doesn't make any sense at all.
What? Why not?
You swapped the lanterns before the reception began, right?
Yeah? That's what I said, isn't it?
But you also just said that you swapped the lanterns. After you got locked up in a cabin for trying to sneak into the reception.
Oh, I see what's going on here. He got locked
What's
up
up?
when the wedding was going on.
Oh!
There's some sort of shenanigans here. Both of these
Okay.
can't be the same.
In other words, you're saying you swapped the lanterns both before the reception and after the reception took place.
That certainly doesn't make any sense, does it? Mr. Butts, Did you swap the lanterns before or after the reception?
Which was it? Before or after? There's a world of difference between the two.
Well, Mr. Butts,
I guess I can expect guys like you to understand. In a nutshell, it was both before and after the reception. What?
huh? What?
I tried to sneak into the first reception and got locked up. Oh,
The first reception? Wait, what? There were two?
there were two of them?
Could one of them been a practice reception or something?
Is that
Hell
why?
if I know.
Is that why he's thinking? Is that why she's thinking there's time travel going on here?
That's the only thing I can think. The first reception? Uh-oh. I don't like where this is going.
Then, through the power of Ellie's pendant, time got rewound, and we went back to the time before the reception. It was after that when I replaced the lantern. So it was both before the reception and after the reception. Get it? We went back in time before the reception. So, of course, the reception would take place one more time after that, right? That's why what I said makes perfect sense. Mr. Wright, what in the world is the witness talking about? Has he developed some sort of intellectual ailment I'm not aware of since I last saw him last?
Well,
None of the sprockets seem to remember the time skip, but I do. And Ellie remembers it too. I think the power of our love for each other made the miracle happen.
Mr. Wright, I'm sorry, but could you please translate this man's gibberish so the rest of us can understand?
so now I have to be the one to explain about the whole time travel thing?
Go on, Nick. I know you can do it.
Looks like you don't have much choice, Nick.
To heck with it. I can't lose any more of my dignity today anyway.
The defendant, Miss Ellen Wyatt, had told the defense the following strange story. She said that after the reception ended, she was attacked by Mr. Gloomsbury. She claims that, as she was being assaulted, she made a wish upon her pendant. Please take me back to that blissful moment. In doing so, time apparently rewound itself to just before the reception began.
It what?
I know it's hard to believe, but think about it this way. Through the power of the pendant, both Ellen Wyatt and Larry Butts experienced time travel.
What? What?
Objection!
What absolute rubbish! Mr. Wright, I've heard my fair share of your nonsense over the years. But this takes the cake. Have you thoroughly lost your mind?
Objection!
But this is simply the conclusion I came to. Using that logic ability you love so much.
What?
The truth of the matter is, the future president of Sprocket Aviation, Soren Sprocket, has been researching time machines. So, what if a time machine has already been successfully created? And what if that's one of Sprocket Aviation's top secret inventions?
A time machine?
Yeah, I even saw something while we were time traveling. I saw a pterodactyl flying through the sky. Maybe the airship was set to travel through time on for their honeymoon trip?
What? A pterodactyl?
Objection!
You can't possibly have any evidence to back up your ridiculous time travel story.
Well,
Please tell me you're joking, right? As I thought. In any case, I now have the evidence to prove that you're no more intelligent than Larry. Not so fast, Edgy. I'm not the same old Larry you used to know.
there is nothing you have done in the last 2 streams that would make me even remotely consider that.
Oh? You want evidence? I've got your evidence right here. This is a photo I secretly took at the first reception. Oh. What?
What? Well, I didn't expect that. Larry! I can't believe you... Well, anyway, good job! If we compared the photos of the first and second receptions and can find a difference, then we'll be able to prove that the reception was held twice.
But do you really think such a difference exists?
Yes, Your Honor. I just need some time to find it for you.
This is preposterous.
Very well. Please show the court what's different then.
This is proof positive that the wedding reception was held twice. All right, let's compare both photos.
Okay, so he's in a red undershirt with a yellow bow tie.
Okay. All right, that's
The
there's no
flowers.
difference there.
There are yellow flowers right here.
Oh. Well, what do you know?
Take that!
Please direct your attention to Miss Wyatt's bouquet of flowers. In the photo one of her in-laws took, the defendant is holding a yellow bouquet. But in the photo Mr. Butts took, she's holding a red bouquet.
You're right!
That's impossible!
What does this mean?
It means that the defendant really did experience 2 wedding receptions. And she did that when she traveled back through time.
What?
Nick! You did it! You proved Ellen's time
Yeah, I can hardly believe it myself. It's just as Ellen said. Reception was held twice. This turns every assumption we base this trial on upside down.
Objection!
I refuse to accept such ludicrous argument. It is pure fiction under the guise of pseudoscience at best. There is simply no such thing as time travel.
I know it's hard, but can't you suspend your disbelief for 1 nanosecond, Edgeworth?
I bet sci-fi movies push all your buttons the wrong way, don't they, Mr. Edgeworth? I can totally picture you yelling, "That never happened!" every 5 seconds at the screen.
It's funny because I can't too.
I can too. Edgeworth. Okay, have you heard what's happening in the Star Wars community?
No, all I know is Star Wars is absolute garbage these days. But what's going on?
Say what you will about Star Wars. There's these people that are arguing and just yelling at the screen, just like this right here, that, oh my God, there's fire in space. That's Edgeworth. Edgeworth is going on forums saying Star Wars has fire in space. It can't happen. That's Edgeworth.
Fair enough.
Maybe you should stay away from movie dates altogether.
To be fair, now that you've told me that story, I'm almost sympathizing with Edgeworth a little bit.
That's neither here nor there.
I mean, fire in space? Come on.
This is real life we're talking about.
And the fact that somebody escaped into the vacuum of space and survived. Oh, we're playing the game again.
But the proof is clearly shown in the 2 photographs.
Objection!
I didn't even get to read that.
Let's see what he said.
That's right, Mr. Edgeworth. No matter how
Objection! Fine, I'll entertain your absurd delusion. If only to demolish it before your very eyes.
What?
Let's start with this then, shall we?
It's over, Anakin. I have the high ground.
There is one thing your time travel theory fails to explain.
Why is Phoenix like Furio Tigre? It's a costume setting. You can change character costumes in the menus of this game.
Yep. And that is the memory of the other guests there. The defendant and Larry remember the reception occurring twice. But no member of the Sprocket family has ever mentioned such a thing.
Objection!
That's because... You know what? Fine, game. I don't need to read that.
I'm not done, you bird brain.
Bird brain!
As I was saying, if the entire family has been sworn to secrecy, then why haven't they sworn the woman who was married into the family to secrecy too?
I know, but why choose that idiot? Because why not? That's a good point.
Oh, I didn't even see that. I'm not in live chat. Because that was the only other option. There was only a normal Phoenix and then this outfit. So we decided, why not? Honestly, all it takes is a little common sense, Mr. Wright.
Even still. How do we know that the trip through time did not really occur? There is proof in the photos that it did. And besides, if time travel doesn't exist, well... I'd be a little disappointed, frankly. I was hoping to go back to the days of my youth.
You mustn't allow yourself to be taken in by Mr. Wright's whimsical tales, Your Honor. I've read about it in various literature, you see. And they all say that time travel is just not logically feasible.
Maybe our argument was just a little too nonsensical, Nick.
Well, in that case, why don't we put common sense to the test?
Excuse me?
The wedding the wedding reception was held twice. Photos are proof of that. But it wasn't because of time travel. It's simply because the reception had actually been held twice. Isn't that the most reasonable way to interpret the situation?
Would you care to elaborate, Mr. Wright?
Time travel doesn't exist, and there's only one way to make sense of what happened.
Yeah, it was held twice.
Somebody must have orchestrated this strange phenomena, and that somebody is...
Everyone at the reception, Gloomsbury, or the gods. I'm thinking Gloomsbury.
Why would he... What reason would he have to do it, though?
Why would everyone else, why would everyone else at the reception, though?
I mean, this is like, this woman's marrying into a major conglomerate.
Okay, let's go with everyone at the reception, then.
What if all the guests at the reception conspired together to hold the reception twice and keep quiet about it?
What? And for what purpose would they conspire to do such a thing?
I don't know. Why does Boeing hire hitmen? You tell me. Well, what?
A beautiful deduction defense. I could tell that you are not a renowned lawyer for nothing. I must say, I underestimated you.
How so, Mr. Nichidi?
You have managed to name each event precisely as they happened. You have revealed it all to the light of day.
Then that means...
It was us. We orchestrated the whole thing. Yes, the reception was held twice. But not because of time travel, no. We simply held it a second time. Well, what? Why? Why would you do such a thing? To make it as though the murder of Miss Ellen committed never happened. Ugh. Master Soren figured that if Miss Ellen, who'd killed Gloomberry after the first reception, experienced the reception one more time, she would think it was all a dream. It was he who ordered us to make it happen. However, only a few, myself included, knew of Miss Ellen's crime.
Are you saying most of the guests attended 2 receptions without knowing why?
Indeed, they need no reason. Master Soren told them to do it, and so they did it. That is the Sprocket way.
Then who hid the body in the lantern?
We did. But we did not anticipate the pedals finding their way in, nor the actions of Mr. Butts. And that is how you intend to cover the whole situation up? There is just one thing everyone here has wrong. The real scene of the murder was not the hold, it was the Vista deck.
What? Then Miss Watt's recollection of the events must be correct.
I admit we try to cover this incident up. But the fact that Miss Ellen killed Gloomsbury is undeniable.
This is quite a turn of events.
And so it appears we have arrived at the truth at last.
Now.
Please do feel free to travel back in time, Mr. Wright, and attempt to do this trial over again. Go on.
Let's not get hasty, Edgeworth.
I bet you can't do it. You want to bet?
I bet I can't either!
Your Honor, we will have to hold a separate trial for the cover-up conspiracy later. But as far as this case goes, I believe we're ready for your ruling.
Objection!
Just before the defendant lost consciousness during her attack, she says she saw someone strike the victim. It's possible that this third party is the true culprit.
Objection!
You still want us to believe the defendant's words? Perhaps you've lost more than your touch during your time abroad. This third-person nonsense is nothing but rubbish, and you know it.
Objection!
But by the same token, how can we trust those who conspired and lied to fool this court of law? For all we know, they might still be hiding something.
Ugh. You never know when to quit, do you?
Now, calm down, both of you. In any case, there isn't enough trustworthy information yet for me to render a verdict. I suggest we continue the trial after both sides have investigated the matter further.
Very well, Your Honor.
Phew, that was close.
Mr. Nichidi? As for you and your cohort's attempt to cover up this crime, your case will be brought to a separate trial following the resolution of this current one.
Understood, Your Honor.
Well then, this concludes today's trial. The court is adjourned.
Wow, that was short.
Huh.
Well, should we continue or should we just break from here?
How long could the investigation go on for?
I mean, we could take a look and kind of get an idea. I mean, it doesn't look too long. Investigation day 2, the hold, question for Soren, question for Pierce, reception hall. So it looks like it's trial 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we had 6 previous. We had 5 here, but at the same time that took 3 hours.
Exactly. That's.
I'd say just on the safe side, should we just save it for next week? And if it turns out to be a short investigation, we just move straight into the trial.
Yeah, I guess so.
All right. Until next time, guys. Yeah, sorry
Have
for
a
the
good
short
one.
one. We're kind of in a, it's just like a weird situation, you know? Anyway, though, GCD, thank you so much for being here.
You're welcome.
Until next time, guys. See ya.